My name is Miranda van Schadewijk, for those who don't know. And several years ago, when I was still studying, I felt really excited and had a lot of hope for the future. So I really had a lot of energy to contribute to society, to have a meaningful life. But I studied archaeology to start out with, and this was fascinating, but it didn't really support me in my questions around purpose and finding meaning in life, livelihood. So I switched to cultural anthropology, and this helped me make a big step towards, well, imagining myself contributing to society one day. But still I felt, well, my studies were not really supporting these questions, and I felt lacking. I felt incomplete in my education and in my experience. So I started looking outside of the academic environment to find communities where I could ask these questions. And what I found for me was nothing less than life-changing. I found a community where these questions that mattered most to me were asked. Like, who am I in my surroundings on this planet? How can we build community? What is happiness? What to do with suffering? What kind of society do I want to live in? Do we want to live in? And how can we build that kind of society? I don't know, is there anyone else in this room who has similar questions? Okay, cool. So I found people that also were asking these questions. And this community I became a part of with is kind of twofold. One part is a group of young adults that I met in a meditation practice center. And the other part is the community around the Gross National Happiness Center in Bhutan. And so I found myself in touch with these people that are pioneers, that really dare to try and fail and do things differently. It was an amazing community of people, and together we started to try out organizing events, creating these spaces for people to come together and stand still, reflect, imagine the future. And that eventually led us to organizing the first Gross National Happiness Retreat, or program, training, for young adults. Oh, I actually had a PowerPoint with pictures to show. I'm not at the pictures yet, so there's time. And so just for, thank you. Yeah. So I will tell you a little bit more about these young adult programs, but first to explain a little bit about Gross National Happiness. This is it is a sustainable way of looking at development that balances material and non-material values, prioritizing the happiness and well-being of humans and all life on Earth. So it is about, you know, a more holistic view of society and of development, not just GDP, not just profits and earning money. And so in the 1970s, the king of Bhutan actually said that gross national happiness is more important than gross national product. And the way that this happiness is defined here is the definition by former Prime Minister Tinley, and he defines it as the Prime Minister of Bhutan. And he defines it as, we have now clearly distinguished the happiness in G&H from the fleeting, pleasurable, feel-good moods so often associated with that term. We know that true abiding happiness cannot exist while others suffer, and comes only from serving others, living in harmony with nature, and realizing our innate wisdom and the true and brilliant nature of our own mind. So happiness is not only about ourselves, but also about our connection with others and with this planet Earth. And for me, that really has to do with compassion. For me, compassion means our ability to look at the systems we are a part of, and to really also be able to see the edges of that system where it's not working, where people or beings are excluded. Can we really be in touch with that unpleasantness, that dysfunctionality, that suffering? To really understand what's going wrong and then take action from there. Gross national happiness is founded on 4 pillars. So above, to read, what is above? Above is the preservation and promotion of culture, then sustainable socio-economic development, environmental conservation, and good governance. And these are linked to ethical principles, to values that we can see as an intention in what we develop. And for me, like seeing these 4 areas really means for me this interconnectedness of these areas in our own lives as well as in our societies and in the world that we can look at. And so how can we be able to look at all these parts in our communities, in our countries, and see where it goes wrong so that we can do something about it? Can we can we see how what we do, how our decisions and our actions affect a wider circle, even wide circle, that when we listen and look more deeply into actually grows even wider and even wider. For me, these 4 pillars of G&H mean that I start looking at my own effect and the ripples in this world. For example, if I buy meat in the supermarket, what does that mean? It means that there have to be huge farms with hundreds or thousands of cows or pigs or chickens that have to live under horrible circumstances, barely kept alive, with huge amounts of drugs. People need to work there and slaughter these animals day after day after day, which is really hard work. To feed all these animals, we have huge fields of grains that are usually in countries where poverty and hunger are still omnipresent. But all the grains that we produce there go to all these animals because our countries want to eat meat every single day. So for me, there's a lot of systems and a lot of interconnections that, for me, compassion is a way of looking at, of really listening to it. And so we started organizing a Gross National Happiness Leadership Program for young adults. And we did this in Bhutan, which is next to Nepal. And this small country in the Himalayan mountains. And we came together with a group of Bhutanese and international young adults. And we spent 4 weeks together with our challenge, building a harmonious community together while taking in account our cultural differences, our relationship to the earth, and having to eat daily, wash daily, like all the daily work that needs to be done. And we, for 21 days of this program, we spent immersed in nature in the sacred valley of Bhutan. And we actually use this time as a laboratory of our own experience. So what does growth, sensation, happiness mean when we really try it out and when we really make it work? And so you see us sitting here in a circle. We did that a lot. So we learned many things. We learned community building, listening to each other, understanding each other. There was a lot of cultural exchange. This is a Bhutanese Buddhist ritual, but we also did a lot of interaction culturally together. I'm almost done. I see that I have to stop already. Working together, people shared their skills and their knowledge in the group, like doing a workshop around how can we bring what we learned back into our own workplaces and communities. But also the daily task of getting wood to cook on. We just cooked on fire, and that knowledge of how do you find trees that are already dead. We have wonderful chefs in our group, and we got in touch with nature. Nature is sacred, powerful, is healing. And we shared what we learned with the people around us, with the local school in the village. And I think the most important thing we learned was really walk the talk, do it, live in community. And to do that, we needed a foundation of day-to-day compassion, of every time and again, small acts of compassion. And the good news is that we will organize this again in this upcoming January. So if you're interested in joining, then just check out the website, gndcenter.org. gndcenterbhutan.org. Thank you for listening.